Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth from Elpis Astrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks so much for joining me today. So this is the start of a new year. So in this video I am going to give you my take on the astrological forecast for January 2022. So we start off on the 2nd of January with our first new moon, and it's a new moon in Capricorn. So for all you Capricorn ascendants and especially sun signs, this is your new year, new start. How appropriate to start literally at the beginning of our calendar year. So this new moon in Capricorn is at 12 degrees Capricorn, 20 minutes. It's on the 2nd of January at 10:34 a.m. And that of course is Pacific Coast time. It is a great time to take on new responsibilities. So if you remember that with Capricorn, it's ruled by Saturn. And Saturn likes, it represents karma, but it also likes responsibilities. It can also represent hard work as well. But I like the idea of starting something new and creating maybe new structures, perhaps as a result of what may have happened last year for us individually. It's also a time of planning, so this is the other thing that you could do. Say you wanted to start a business, or set up something new in your life, generally speaking. A great time to start it on the 2nd of January. We have Mercury that's going to be trining the north nodes of the moon. And so this is important information coming through about our future. So we'll receive this in a collective way as well as individually too. And of course, the big thing, of course, is that Jupiter is now in Pisces. And that will be till approximately mid-May 2022. I did do a whole video covering all the sun signs and ascendants for Jupiter in Pisces, and I'll put the link below in the text box if you'd like to actually take a look at it. This whole, though, Jupiter in Pisces, remember that we had Jupiter visiting Pisces last year, sort of June time, 2021, where it went from 0 to approximately 2 degrees, and then again, when it went forward again and backwards, it's hitting this point, the 0 to 2 degree mark, 3 times. So if you've got any degrees, say specifically in Pisces between 0 and 2 degrees, or in the opposite sign, which is Virgo, this may be something coming back to you with regards to something that happened in June and some kind of resolution. Jupiter, generally speaking, either puts a spotlight on something, or it also can bring you good luck. And it can also be gifts. It can come in the form of an advisor or some person who can be good luck for you. So let's see what maybe happened back in June 2021. This may revisit you early January 2022. Jupiter will be squaring the outgoing north nodes of the moon, of course, that are still barely in Gemini, and the south nodes that are in Sagittarius. So this is that final little reminder for us where it challenges us to look closely at our beliefs and opinions and asks us to also carefully listen to others. Perhaps they have something important to say to us too. Now, notably, this new moon at 12 degrees of Capricorn will be replaced by Venus, but it'll be retrograde at the full moon in Cancer. So I thought that was quite interesting. So this is also, to me, saying there's an evolution of what? Anything Venus. So this could be your money, and for a lot of people this might be money somehow evolves in January to become front and center at the full moon, and some kind of culmination happens. But it can also be love, and with the Venus being retrograde, typically we look at past love coming back to us. But I think at its core, we're really looking at our value system. So even though Venus will be retrograde at the full moon at this degree point, I think it somehow ties into a new beginning, perhaps for some with an old love, perhaps with someone who reviewed their value system and now wants to start something new in that area. This also could be value with regards to what do we value, our possessions, as well as, of course, our money systems. So let's look at that full moon. The full moon in Cancer will be at 27 degrees of Cancer, 50 minutes, and that's on the 17th of January at 3:48 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now what's interesting is that the sun, so full moon we have the sun opposite the moon, but the sun is actually going to be conjunct Pluto. Now remember that we had the Venus retrograde in December start at conjunction with Pluto, and of course Venus retrograde has 3 times right up to the beginning of March that it conjuncts Pluto. So what this is saying here is that this whole Venus retrograde that's sort of operating in the background in January, we have then this focus of the sun, which is our inner essence, conjuncting Pluto. And so this says there's some powerful transformation happening within us all with regards to how we view our nurturing, how we view our safety and security, that type of thing, because this full moon is in Cancer. It's the mother, it's the homeland, it's our home, literally our home as well. So this may bring just to the fore where we have some very powerful thoughts and feelings in particular about it, but it can also be people in power, right? That whole sun conjunct Pluto can be people in power, putting their foot down, or pounding their fist on a table, as bad as that. But I think this is going to be some combination here with regards to the whole way we've been transforming basically over almost 2 years, let's face it, 2020 as well as 2021. And this may form some more permanent transformation. So as we've been transforming over the years, this time point of the full moon may somehow really set in stone a little bit more of what we really have transformed, and it will show more with regards to our inner essences, individually as well as collectively. We have Mercury and Venus that are still retrograde at this full moon. Mercury will square Uranus, so this could be some kind of upsetting news that comes in, either on the wires or on the internet, or just directly to us. But we are going to have Venus will be trining Uranus. So I thought this may actually be some kind of favorable energy with regards to the whole new money systems that are going to be more permanently set in place over the next 1.5 years, with the North nodes and South nodes being in Taurus and Scorpio respectively. So I think that's what's going to happen here. Maybe even some surprising things with regards to money. And now if you do have placements around the 10 degree mark, 10 to 12 degree mark of Taurus, this may affect you more personally with regards to money, but it's a trine, so this is favorable energy. Now it can also bring in easily relationships as well, where a love relationship either takes on a new sheen or a whole brand new one falls in your lap. Trines are all about easy energy, but it can also mean that we can miss some things as well because it's just so easy to do. We have this Mercury retrograde at 10 degrees of Aquarius on the 14th of Jan, but it's going to go to direct at 24 degrees of Capricorn. So we're kind of familiar with this whole Capricorn thing, especially with regards to Venus retrograde, because Venus retrograde went retrograde when it was conjunct Pluto at approximately 25, 26 degrees. 24 degrees of Capricorn's not too far off. So there's some significance, and that direct motion of the Mercury retrograde will happen on the 4th of February, so I'm really dipping into next month as well. But because it's so close to the retrograde degree point of Venus conjuncting Pluto, I would say there's going to be, whatever you've been going through in December and January, look to some clearer communication, because now we're talking about Mercury retrograde here, going forward at that 24 degree Capricorn mark. More clearly around the 4th of February, some kind of resolution with regards to either our thoughts, that we get clear how we're thinking about something, but more importantly, I think it's going to be some kind of communication, whether you're talking to somebody on the phone, talking to someone in a discussion group, or just receiving, say, an email that clears up some confusion that you've had. We have Venus going direct at 11 degrees of Capricorn, so look to see if you've got anything significant in your chart there. And that'll be on the 29th of January. It will be transiting the North node of the Moon at this time. So we're going to have the North nodes of the Moon now taking up digs in Taurus. So I thought that was interesting that this whole Venus goes direct at the same time almost as we have these transiting north nodes now going into Taurus. And so I think this is also like that compass that swings around, right? Or we come to the signpost and we say, that's where I want to go. It's going to be that sort of feeling around the end of January for pretty well all of us with regards to what direction should I be taking here with regards to my money, right? And we're talking about Venus going direct here. So our money, the people we love, how we love, and of course our value system. And I think more than anything else, if I had to pick one thing, I would say it's going to be our value system. And that may translate in some cases to how we value money. And of course then that you can take it a step further and say, now I understand where this whole value system that we have in place right now regarding our money may completely change in the next 1.5 years with these transiting north nodes being in Taurus and the south nodes being in Scorpio. That is the money axis. Both those signs represent the money axis. So we can see probably some kind of things happening towards the end of January as well that, again, clearly makes a signpost to more from a mundane standpoint in our money systems, right? We will at this time have Mercury that will still be retrograde, and it'll be conjuncting Pluto. So I would say these are, even though the Mercury retrograde is retrograde, conjuncting Pluto, it always is making a statement. But like I said, this is the 29th of Jan. Let's wait a few days till the 4th of February when Mercury goes direct, and perhaps even when it goes out of shadow in another week, so mid-Feb, where it is more clear to us what we've transformed or what truly is transforming here. And I think it's all tied back into that Venus retrograde. Mercury is just delivering the message. Now, both of these, that would be the Mercury retrograde and Pluto conjunction, these are going to be trining the north nodes in Taurus, because remember that the nodes always move backwards. So in January, the north nodes in Taurus will really only be at 28, 29 degrees of Taurus. But that's going to correspond with this whole conjunction of Mercury and Pluto. So I would say that here also there's going to be a clearer destiny path, because the north nodes truly represent our transiting ones anyway, our collective destiny path for the next 1.5 years or so. And again, I think this goes back to our money systems and truly what we value in our lives, right? May even see some people over these next year or so just offloading a lot of possessions that they say, why have I got this? It doesn't even mean anything. I don't have value around this anymore. Yeah. And of course also we have the sun that's going to be squaring Uranus at the 29th of January. So this just is going to say that I think this really goes back to that whole Saturn squaring Uranus, which is still kind of ongoing, even though it's a little bit of an orb. It again says, you know, we've got to do some changes with regards to pointing to our future and shaking things up so that we get on that path that we're supposed to be on in terms of newness with regards to our structures. Now, I know the sun doesn't directly correspond to structures, but I really think that because this is squaring pretty close to the degree point of the Uranus-Saturn square, that this is just putting an extra emphasis on it. Come on, we got to move ahead here. Let's make some changes. And perhaps with the sun representing people in power, maybe we'll see some people in power actually doing their job and making strides to make the changes that we need, especially from a humanitarian standpoint and, you know, the global human race. What's the best thing for the human race, for all of us, not just individuals? All right, folks, that wraps up my video for the January forecast. If we look at the night sky or the morning sky, we've got Jupiter and Saturn that are going to be sinking at sunset. So this is kind of at the west sort of direction if you wanted to look out in the night sky in January. Now specifically on the 9th of January, we will have this whole Jupiter and Saturn having a conjunction with Mercury, which is unusual. Now you're going to have to look at this It's going to be very low in the southeast sky, so you may need binoculars for it, but it'll be at dawn. So you've got these three relatively shining planets, especially you'll be able to point out Jupiter, no problem at all. Saturn is still there too, and then Mercury will be twinkling away. So look low in the horizon and dawn, obviously in the southeast east sky for this phenomenon. When we look at February, I've already covered the fact that Mercury is going to go direct on the 4th of February. But we also have a lovely Venus conjunct Mars, and that's going to be at 14 degrees of Capricorn. So see if you've got anything at that degree point. I mean, this certainly is a beneficial influence for those folks that want to meet a new love in their life that has more grounding and seriousness, because of course Saturn rules Capricorn, and with this conjunction happening in Capricorn, it just has a more serious tone with regards to the celestial lovers. Take care, everybody. Leave me comments if you want to have your chart done. Great month to get it done, the beginning of 2022. I'll leave all my contact details below. And as always, I'm wishing everybody lots of love, and be inspired this year for 2022 to make some of your dreams come true. Work hard at believing that things can happen. Good things can happen to good people. I've done that whole video, as I said, on the Jupiter conjuncting Neptune in Pisces. That's going to be happening in April for all of us, just in different parts of our charts. All right, bye for now. I'll see you in February, and I will get a longer video out, just not sure what I'm going to do on it on this month. Take care of yourself, everybody, and lots of love.